Hey, what is up, everybody? So, I'm going to look at some internet articles on elections in Canada that happened recently, like Pierre Piolivere losing his seat, and all sorts of other elections. Okay. Okay, that's not doable. Conservatives lose election. Pierre Piolivere loses Carleton riding. Conservative leader will not be the next finance nor return as local MP. The thing about his loss in the election is that the Liberal class in Canada, they're, how do you describe them? They're people who are sometimes radical left and how would you have expected him to win only a razor-thin majority when the Conservatives, through such an era, have widespread support for blockchain, and no blockchain governments have ever been possible in Canada, although there are certain non-authoritarian tendencies with Canada that I do observe. What I think should have happened is that Pierre Piolivere would have been the Prime Minister should the election have been fair, because he won 1.4 million votes in the Conservative election. In the Liberal election, Mark Carney won 147,000 votes, which means that Pierre Piolivere won the popular vote. The mechanism I was never able to figure out was why he could have possibly have lost in a fair system. A fair system being one where he would have never lost the election is Pierre Piolivere. Pierre Piolivere would have had widespread support from more than half of the population. He was polling higher, but just a day before the election, he lost the election because the radical leftists in Canada had something to win by them corrupting that system and by Pierre Piolivere losing. I believe that if we look at, let's look at some data that I've done the video. Canadian population. It's 40.01 million according to 2023, right? Let's see. Pierre Piolivere votes. Let's see. Let's see, Canadian election vote count. Alright. Quebec centrist Conservative. Conservatives won 41.3% of the vote, but the Liberals won 43.7% of the vote. Is this supposed... Look, 19 million people. This could be data for how much votes the Conservatives won. Out of 28 million who I had other data that suggests that the vote counts were much smaller for a nation like Canada compared to its population. And this could be a lie, but Pierre Piolivere won 1.4 million votes in the elections due to certain data I've read. And Mark Carney won less than 200,000, which means most Canadians are not voting, and which means that we have a rigged democracy of radical leftism because